Icesda 2025 Communique. International Conference on Environment, Social, Governance and Sustainable Development of Africa. Dates 23rd to 24th October 2025. Venue, Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, Gimpa, Accra. Theme, From Cradle to Cradle, Putting ESG and Sustainable Development of Africa First. The International Conference on Environment, Social, Governance and Sustainable Development of Africa, named Icesda 2025, convened at Gimpa, Accra from 23rd to 24th October 2025, bringing together a distinguished assembly of scholars, policymakers, industry leaders, youth advocates, and sustainability practitioners from across the continent and beyond. The conference served as a dynamic platform for reimagining Africa's sustainability trajectory, with a particular focus on environment, social and governance, integration, climate action, and inclusive development. Guided by the spirit of SDG Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals. Icesda 2025 fostered multi-stakeholder dialogue, knowledge exchange, and strategic alignment. The opening ceremony sets a reflective and purposeful tone, enriched by cultural interludes and theological reflections, and anchored by keynote addresses that challenge conventional paradigms and called for transformative leadership. Key insights and reflections. Throughout the proceedings, participants engaged in robust discussions that illuminated both the promise and the challenges of Africa's sustainability agenda. Several critical insights emerged. 1. Africa's green economy potential. The continent's green economy was identified as a transformative job creator, with projections suggesting it could become the largest employment sector by 2030. However, only 15% of African countries currently offer incentives for ESG-aligned assets, underscoring the need for policy reform and investment in local innovation. 2. Environmental degradation and governance gaps. The devastating impact of illegal mining, dubbed galamsey, on water bodies and ecosystems was condemned. Participants called for strengthened governance, enforcement mechanisms, and community-led restoration efforts. 3. Fragmented ESG implementation. ESG governance across Africa remains hindered by fragmented regulations, weak institutional capacity, and misaligned incentives. There is an urgent need for unified frameworks, measurable metrics, and digital platforms to scale impact. Youth and gender inclusion. Women and youth were recognized as pivotal agents in accelerating the SDGs. Yet, their underrepresentation in decision-making and resource allocation continues to limit progress. Calls were made for inclusive policies, targeted investments, and leadership development. Technology and ethics. Artificial intelligence was both celebrated and critiqued. while offering new frontiers for education and sustainability. Concerns were raised about its ethical use, the pollution of academic literature, and the addictive nature of digital platforms. Cultural innovation. The use of Adinkra symbols in Adinkra emerged as a powerful tool for communicating ESG and SDG principles, demonstrating the value of indigenous knowledge systems in sustainability education. Strategic recommendations. In response to these insights, Icesda 2025 participants proposed the following strategic actions. 1. Strengthen ESG regulations and metrics. Thus, develop continent-wide ESG frameworks and digital platforms for monitoring, reporting, and scaling impact. Shift from compliance-based governance to conscience-driven leadership rooted in ethical stewardship. 2. Empower universities and research institutions. Thus, position academia as a catalyst for ESG innovation, policy formulation, and youth engagement. Invest in local research and capacity building to contextualize global standards and drive evidence-based policy. 3. Advance climate action and NDC implementation. Foster cross-sectorial collaboration to mobilize climate finance and align institutional efforts with Ghana's nationally determined contribution targets. Incentivize private sector participation through tax reliefs, innovation grants, and recognition schemes. 4. Promote inclusive development by mainstreaming gender equity and youth leadership in sustainability programs. And also recognizing women as agents of change and invest in their capacity to lead climate and ESG initiatives. 5. Leverage cultural and technological tools by integrating indigenous knowledge systems and cultural expressions into sustainability education and advocacy. And also ensuring ethical use of AI in academia and sustainability governance with safeguards against misuse and misinformation. 6. Enhance communication and stakeholder engagement by developing strategic communication frameworks to translate ESG and SDG goals into actionable narratives. And also building partnerships with media, civil society, and community leaders to amplify impact and foster behavioral change. Call to action. Icesda 2025 issues a clarion call to African governments, regional bodies, academic institutions, private sector actors, and civil society organizations to scale ESG implementation across sectors and borders. Invest in youth and women as sustainability champions. Align national policies with global climate and development goals. Institutionalize platforms for continuous dialogue, innovation, and accountability. This call is not merely aspirational, it is a mandate for action. The urgency of climate change, the promise of ESG, and the resilience of African communities demand bold, coordinated, and inclusive response. Acknowledgements. The Icesda 2025 Organizing Committee extends heartfelt appreciation to GIMPA, KNUST, AFCFTA, UN Global Compact Network Ghana, Women in Sustainability Africa, WISA, and all contributors whose leadership and commitment continue to shape Africa's sustainable future. This is issued this 24th day of October 2025 here in Accra, Ghana, on behalf of the Icesda 2025 Rapporteurs and Organizing Committee. Thank you.